Hello, hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, part 1. It is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, and I'm so happy you are joining us this week. Mom and I have a sneak peek of some brand new products to share with you today. So let's turn the camera around to my desktop and get started. Today we are using some brand new products that are coming out on Tuesday, November 4th. It is the November online exclusives. And I love that we are having online exclusives like every other month. So there's always something new coming out. Sometimes we have online exclusives with a catalog release. Sometimes they're just on their own. And this is one of those mid-catalog releases. The online exclusives, just like the catalog products, have two suites. I was going to say they have suites. So this time there are two different suites. We've got the Brush with Beauty suite, which we're going to use today, the Hobby Haven suite, and then an assortment of bundles and other new products. Another one which I'm going to use today is the Banner Sayings. Really excited about that bundle that has a punch. I think this one's going to be really versatile, and I'm going to use this one a lot. So I'm really excited about showing that to you. And so we got just kind of an assortment of all occasion things coming out in the November online exclusive. So this is the Brush with Beauty. I'm gonna use my sneak peek. Actually, I'm gonna show you because I only have one of the stamp sets. This does have two stamps in it. The other one that I didn't get is called Words of Beauty. So it has the big just and the because, and then other little things that you can mix and match. Just because you're a great friend, just lovely, you're so because, no, that doesn't make any sense. You're so, just things that you can mix and match. It kind of reminded me of the Sweet Blooms stamp set with the big words that are scripty and the little words that you can fit in. And so I decided to just like combine the Sweet Blooms with the Petals of Beauty. I thought that could work. And I actually don't have the dies that go with this. But the wonderful thing about, you know, an image set is that you can use any greetings to go with it. So like I mentioned today, I'm going to be using that Banner Sayings bundle, which is brand new and coming out for the words on my card. But there is another set, the Words of Beauty, that I think is really lovely that goes along with this. So the other stamp set that I do have is called Petals of Beauty. And you're going to notice starting with these November online exclusive, we've got our new packaging. So these are the new envelopes for the stamp sets. I will show you what I did. I took my stamps and I just peeled the thin piece of plastic off, and I used, I think, smoky slate or gray granite, kind of just like a lighter neutral color. And so I kept them all on the sheet, I inked them up, and then I stamped them onto the inside of the paper, and then I cleaned them off so that when I am putting them away, I can put my paper over here. Now I'm choosing not to glue this paper down. I know some people are doing that, but I'm just going to lay it down, and then I can put my stamps away by putting them right on here and matching them up, and then putting the other sheet on top. And then this way, this is loose and doesn't get stuck to the paper. And I can make sure I've got them all when I'm putting them away. So that's my little tip.
Brilliant. And I just was playing with this, trying to get it all on here. And I did. And I'm going to get out my smoky slate and do the same thing.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I'm concerned about, because like this one on the front, the artwork on the front doesn't necessarily, especially you can see this with the like Banner Sayings, the artwork on the front is not going to line up with the stamps. Like the stamps are packaged a lot smaller, so I think I forgot to do it on this one. Actually, I did. So I'll figure out how to put them on there, and then I'll stamp them so I don't forget. But that way you can just kind of make sure you've got them all when you're putting them away. I'm still unsure about the new packaging, but I do love that it's so slim. and that they're the same size, so you can package and keep your stamp set and your dies together. And so I'm still keeping an open mind on the new packaging. I mean, we don't have a choice really, unless you want to convert and put all of them back in the old stamp cases, which is an option because those empty stamp cases are going to continue to be available. It's also an option if you want to convert all of them to the new slim cases. You'll be able to, starting November 4th, get empty slim envelopes to put your stamps and your die cuts in. But I like that they're the same size. We can keep them together. So we've got the Petals of Beauty stamp set and the Petals of Beauty dies, which include some detailed die images as well as some outlines to cut out the designer paper. Now I'm going to tell you really quickly that I thought, oh, the outline must match up with the you know, with the base so that you can mix and match. It doesn't line up exactly, like it's not necessarily supposed to. You can still layer them together, but it's not going to cover completely. So I just wanted to give you a heads up because that was a little bit different than I expected it to be. Same thing with the smaller one. It doesn't line up exactly with a smaller die cut. So just a heads up on that. I do think the detail dies are just so beautiful though. And I haven't used these on a project yet. There's also this gorgeous really thin, delicate leaf, but lots of options, lots of opportunities. We do have a detail die that goes in the leaves. So I think that's really interesting that like these details don't line up perfectly with the other one, but the detail for the leaf here does. So anyway, kind of interesting. So that's the Petals of Beauty bundle. And then we have the Brush with Beauty designer paper. This is a 12 by 12 designer paper that has kind of that brush stroke look to it. We've had some different papers like this before, including a little bit in the beautiful gallery paper. But I am just loving these colors. Crumb cake for the background, which is just really pretty. Some petal pink, some Calypso Coral, Verry Vanilla in there too. Some Mossy Meadow, little Lost Lagoon with that blue, Darling Duckling, kind of a bright little yellow to go in there. Some early espresso. Am I missing any other colors, Mom?
I don't think so. I think you named them off very well.
Just gorgeous paper.
Oh, love it.
Now I am going to feature this designer paper in my 12 Days of Christmas gift box that's coming up. I'm still working out all the details, but I'm really excited to be showcasing this paper as one of the 12 gifts. So stay tuned for information about that. Stampin' Up! Also is featuring this suite in their next craft class. So if you're interested in doing that, the craft class is going to be available to purchase starting November 4th. And the class will be live on November 20th at 2:00 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, I signed up for the Traditions of Christmas craft class, but I have to admit that I haven't watched it yet. But I think it's just kind of
right
fun.
there with you.
Yeah, so this is a virtual only class. There are no pre-cut cardstock kits to go with this. But it is like if you're getting the suite and want to like follow along and make some projects. I did hear really amazing reviews about the Traditions of Christmas craft class that Stampin' Up! Did. And so now this is the newest one called Brushed with Beauty that will feature this suite. So just a little heads up on that. Now to finish telling you what's in this suite, we've got this amazing embossing folder called Beautiful Pattern. And I just love that it's sort of dainty and delicate. I think it's really pretty with the flowers in this suite. And I'm going to use it on my project by embossing Vellum. We've had Vellum before and Vellum is back. It's a little bit heavier. It's not too like wispy of a Vellum, which I really love the weight of it. This comes 12 by 12 as well. And you get, I think 12 sheets. 10 or 12 sheets in the package. And so I'm excited to have Vellum back. It's just such a pretty way to like add a layer to your project while still being able to kind of see what's underneath. I was just thinking, I'm not sure how I'm going to adhere that inside yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. And lastly, these gorgeous pearls that come in white, Calypso Coral, and Crumb Cake. These are the Pearls of Beauty. Kind of flat, not totally low profile. We have some antique pearls, I think, that are pretty similar to this and really gorgeous. So this is the Brush with Beauty suite. And I'm excited to share a card with you today, but before I do that, let me show you a couple swap cards. This is one that I made featuring the designer paper and the embossing folder and the stamps to create a card with Petal Pink and Calypso Coral, some of my favorite colors. I love that combination together. I'm using it again today. And then this swap card is from Susan Campfield. And she used some of the die cut, the little gold in there. I love the addition of this ribbon. This gold stripe ribbon is from the Celebratory Sips suite, I think. Oh, or Floral Impressions.
I don't remember.
Either way, it is.
I don't remember those details.
It's so pretty. I think we kept saying it's so good for Christmas. But any of these papers, like a little touch of elegance, and I think it goes really nicely with this. I think this is actually a fun fold. So let me open it up and show you. Oh, of course I have to untie it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to tie that bow the same way, but it has like a little double flap there. So really pretty card. I love all the elements on that. All right.
She's so great. I like her.
Yes. The queen of fun folds. I think she's always got a fun fold. Well, I was inspired by a fun fold that I received in the Great Big Card Swap from Diane Gorski. All the curly girls and Cara created a card with the card in a card format. So it has, I know Mom's laughing because we just filmed our video and it is kind of also a card in a card, but it's different. And it's landscape. It's a whole different kind of layout. So you're getting two sort of cards in a cards this week. And so if you don't go home, you are home. If you don't try one of our cards this week, I don't know what else we can do to inspire you. So card in a card, Diane's card really inspired me, and everybody was asking me to do a card in a card. Now, Diane's card, I'm going to point out, is has a designer paper piece for the background, and then it folds over and you see some of that designer paper here on the inside, and then the smaller card is in the paper. I'm doing mine slightly differently, and my card base, instead of designer paper, I'm using a piece of cardstock, and this is 5.5 inches by 6 3/4. I forgot my Post-its, but I'll have measurements for you in the video description. 6.5 inches. So 5.5 by 6.5, scored at, did I think I did it wrong. But that, okay. I think I just need to cut it a little bit. So let's go 6 1/4. So we're going to cut, I want it to be a 2-inch flap that hangs over. So this is 5.5 by 6.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's a 2-inch flap here, and the designer paper is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to be the card front. And so we sort of still get the look of designer paper. You could also put a piece here if you wanted to have that pattern on the inside. Then the inside card is going to be Verry Vanilla. The reason for having designer paper as the outer layer is that it's not so bulky. So I am using 2 pieces of cardstock, which are going to be a little bulkier, but the inside one is Verry Vanilla. And so that's a lighter weight than the colored cardstock. So this card is 5 1/4 by 8, and it's scored at 4 inches. And so that's going to be the card inside. So we'll have the card in a card. And then for the front of this is a piece of designer paper. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So we're going to have it layered like that. For the front, a piece of Verry Vanilla. I think I actually want to cut that down. That seems really big and just covers everything up. I made all my pieces, but I didn't actually assemble my card when I did my sample. So let's trim this down. This is 3 by 4. I'm going to make it 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to make this piece 3x4. This is Mossy Meadow and Verry Vanilla. I think that will be better. And then a vellum that I embossed with that new beautiful pattern embossing folder. This one is 3x4. I'm going to trim it down to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, just because I want it to hide completely behind this layer. I don't want it to accidentally peek out. So that's going to go on the designer paper. And I love that you can see through and still get that pattern. All right, I have die cut some things ahead of time that we're going to stamp on. So I die cut 3 of the flower outlines. I die cut 2 of the Mossy Meadow leaves. And then I also did some punching with that new triple banner punch for our greetings. So before we do our stamping, I want to do a little bit of blending to add some color to the Verry Vanilla Cardstock. Grabbing out my grid paper. And I'm going to use Petal Pink and my blending brush to just add a little pink to the background piece here. Kind of going like diagonal across, leaving the corners. Sort of like a reverse, what do you call the?
Okay. Reverse embossing when you're...
No, on a photograph, when it has like the shading around it. Vignette, is that the right word?
Oh, maybe.
I feel like there's another word and it's just escaping me.
Welcome to getting older.
Cry. Oh,
Happens to me all the time.
I'm not ready.
I lose my words.
Yes. Increasingly, I just feel like it's right there. I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna use. I gotta double check my sample. What did I do?
And I depend on you to bail me out.
Well, who am I gonna depend on?
You've got kids.
I've got kids. Oh my goodness. All right, I will put them on notice. I am stamping on the die cut, which is kind of reverse. Sometimes I find it easier to stamp and then die cut, but just I thought it might be easier to die cut and then do the stamping so that you wouldn't have to watch me die cut everything. And I found that it was easier than I thought it would be to stamp on some of these things. And it definitely helps when you have a contrasting layer. So you notice I moved it off of the white paper and put it on the darker cardstock or the darker background so that I could see and line up the stamp. If it was over here, it's kind of blends in a little bit. It's harder to see. So you can see just with me doing that, how much easier that is to see. So if you choose to do this, then I definitely recommend stamping on a darker background so that you can see where you're going.
Good tip.
So there's the lineup of that one. And both of these stamp images have 2 steps. The sort of solid color and then the outline. But for the large flower, I am going to use only the outline because I'm trying to mimic the designer paper, which has some white flowers or, vanilla flowers. And so by using just the outline, I can keep most of the flower and have it be white. And so I'm kind of going for that look, and I think that works to have just sort of that lighter color in the background. There's also a small cluster of flowers, and I'm going to get the petal pink back out for this one and stamp the solid color. And I found this to be kind of dark, and so I decided to do the detail in the same color. So petal pink for the background and petal pink for the detail. Layered on top, gets a little bit darker. The designer paper flowers have some darker centers, so I decided to bring in that stamp that has the detail for the center, and I'm going to use it on both the big and the small flowers. Next up, we are going to stamp some of the banner sayings, and I'm going to do one on the front and then a series of 3 on the inside. And so I love that a lot of these kind of coordinate with each other. So for the front, we're going to use Happy Birthday, and I'm using Early Espresso ink on Crumb Cake for the front banner. And on the inside, I'm going to use the Verry Vanilla. And I have used 2 of the pointy ones. The third one is another banner tip on just one side. But I kind of liked the symmetry of doing the same shape in the reverse direction. So for the inside, I'm going to use Cue the Confetti and Here's to You and Celebrate. I'm trying to remember what order I did them in. I think it's Cue the Confetti, Here's to You, and Celebrate, which I think is really fun because those sentiments can be used for different occasions, not just for birthdays. So if you wanted to do something different on the front instead of Happy Birthday, the Cue the Confetti, Here's to You, Celebrate can be used for a graduation or a job promotion or buying a new house or, you know, some other kind of fun celebration.
Retiring.
Yes, retirement. For the inside, I'm going to choose one more banner saying, and this one says, Wishing You Good Things, which again can be used for, you know what, we should put this on a banner. I have some more banners that I punched out. I'm just keeping them like in a little baggie. Wishing you good things. See, doesn't that look better on a banner?
Yeah, you're right.
We should put some flowers on there too. I'm gonna just do some just a little petal pink. Can you see it? It's kind of light. Some petal pink. So let's glue things together. This is going to go on the inside. On the front of that inside card, we're going to add that designer paper. Then this card's going to go in this card, a card and a card. For the outside, we have that pink designer paper. The front flap is going to have the Verry Vanilla on Mossy Meadow. And when you add this to the card, you want to be careful to only put adhesive on one side so that it does open with the card flap. So let's use, I was going to grab tear and tape, but there's not some there, so I'll just get out a fresh roll. Whoa, it's so big. All right, so adhesive just on one side. That's going to go right in the center here. I maybe should have put the vellum down first to make sure that it gets covered up, but I think as long as I go in the center, it should be good. And so for the vellum, my plan is to put one of the leaves in the middle and then add the banners
I like that.
Yeah, so I am going to start by adding the these pieces to the vellum, and then I will put my adhesive strategically underneath where all those elements are so that it doesn't show through. That's the tricky thing about vellum. Do you have any tips for adhering vellum, or what adhesive do you think works best?
I usually just try to put my adhesive where there's other elements to kind of hide it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the vellum isn't as secure as I might like it to be, but I'd rather it'll stay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I haven't played with this new vellum yet. Do you think because it's thicker, it's easier to hide the adhesive?
This is my first card making, so I don't know, but I would say like it seems like the weight of our other vellum. At one point we had like vellum cardstock, and then we had vellum like that was wispier, but this seems like the same kind of vellum that we had before. I can't remember if like tear and tape is supposed to be more clear through it, but I'm going to use the liquid adhesive like you were talking about and just put it on the back of the elements. And I can even go like under the banners.
Yeah, you can.
So that's going to go right in the middle. And then that should cover it up. Oh, I love it. And we're not even done. Okay, so we have next our other die cut, and we're going to add that on the side. And then we're going to add our bigger die cut flowers with Stampin' Dimensionals. And this one's just going to go on with regular adhesive. That's a lot because our banner is going to kind of stick there in between. So I'm going to use a dimensional on one side, and where it's going to overlap a little bit of the liquid adhesive. Kind of want that to be a little higher.
Sorry.
Oh, I already tore. Okay, just put it down. Leave it alone. All right, we need some bling on our card. I'm gonna get out, where is our bling? Oh, right here in front of me. The Pearls of Beauty. I'm kind of thinking that darker Calypso Coral. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And there are two sizes here, so I'm going to use the larger, the small, and then I know you like 3. So we'll do one more down there. And there's my version of a card in a card.
Love it. That is a wonderful card, Julie.
Thank you. I am just loving the colors and loving this amazing brushed with beauty designer paper. And just a reminder, all of this will come out on Tuesday. So if you're interested in getting the designer paper or the new stamps or any of the things like the new punch, which I think you're going to love, that's coming out on Tuesday. So watch for that on Tuesday, November 4th. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and Mom's so you don't miss out on future card making videos. We'll have some more November online exclusives coming up in the next few weeks, so be sure to stay tuned to see what we are creating with all this new stuff. But right now, it's time to head over to Mom's channel to see what she is creating and her own version of a card in a card with the Brush Beauty Suite collection. We will see you over there. Thanks so much for joining me, Mom. and everybody else.
Oh, my pleasure, hon.
Bye,
See you all
everybody.
with you.